standard where the left doesn't recognize that they have been directly calling for violence against Trump and his supporters the whole time. And this has never happened with Trump or his supporters. Let's just go through. I typed in the word capital and hit latest. Let's see what people are saying here. Police arrest Florida man who was allegedly carrying Nancy Pelosi's lectern in the Capitol. Good. Shouldn't have been in there. Doesn't have anything to do with the millions of people there for the march to stop the election fraud, which we have evidence of. Move to Mastodon. You think the people that stormed the Capitol wanted to hold them accountable for war crimes? Those effers love the military-industrial complex and PMCs. I don't know what PMCs is. F out of here. They'd install a military dictatorship if they got their way, you effing moron. Who is that? The Trump fans? No. You know, they may not be smart enough, a lot of them, to recognize that, oh, well, maybe Trump didn't go to war, but he sure did give Israel and the UAE $50 billion for some business development thing. And Trump is totally Zionist, but they don't want to support war as their intent. I don't know what you're talking about. There'd be a lot of those people that would argue with you. We're the ones that you call conspiracy theorists that go, oh, you see that little symbol on the dime? It looks like that torch, only it's multiple vertical sticks connected together. That's called a fasci. We're the ones that educate you about the relationship between America fascism and Rome, between America fascism and Star Trek. Oh, you Galactic Federation of Aliens. Gee, that's a military federal. That is a fascist socialist dictatorship that's throughout the whole galaxy. Doesn't mean I don't like Star Trek. I do. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of misunderstanding. And I don't know. Obviously, it doesn't seem like anybody's listening to anybody. The left seems to be completely against reason itself. They now consider any difference of opinion regarding, vaccines, for example. Even if you're for vaccines, which is highly questionable in itself, because all it's doing is sticking, it's unnaturally doing what your body does anyway, right? So there's all kinds of reasons to get a second opinion about healthcare from a doctor. So I don't know what you think about how, well, the TV, they're saving the black people and we're doing everything they say to do. How do you people not understand? You are working for the globalists. You are working for Nike and Apple that have modern slavery, sweatshops. All of us. See, that's the difference. Is I understand I'm connected to that stuff. You see what I'm saying? I'm not using it to attack you. I'm just saying you're projecting your own behavior. The Nazis, they were National Socialists. Okay? Anarchy. Although it's always shown in my whole life as some 80s skateboard punk with the A through the O, yeah, throwing a Molotov cocktail. No, an anarchist is a far right-wing person that says there shouldn't be any government. You know what I mean? Unless we're all directly involved in it. Which you don't have to sign anything or get anybody else. There's natural law. You can get away with whatever nature will allow. Then there are those people that want to defend nature against transhumanism. All this food that has GMOs that are changing our DNA. The vaccines are changing our DNA. That's a political battle that we need to be hearing about. This is the end of humanity being replaced by robots. This is not science fiction. This is science friction. Predictive programming. Yeah, they've been telling you. And evidently, I always am like, come on, we can handle the aliens. We can handle the robots. Look how fast people adapt to stuff. But on the other hand, all of us, I would say, adapt very slow. Look how long that people in my alternative media community have been trying to get off of Twitter and onto, either censor sites that don't censor, like Parler or Gab, perhaps, or MeWe, or better yet, to do what I'm doing and to use a website, use an email newsletter. That's going to be our last digital bastion to access. But I've diverted from the point here. I'm just showing the way that all these people, including people that I know, that supported Trump. And I was Mr. Conspiracy that was like, I hate Trump. I hate the fact that he stole the truth movement from individuals like me that were using the internet to research stuff. But I became very angry with my own perception of this virtual community of alternative media, because we just overanalyze stuff. It's supposed to be a tool. It's like Star Trek. They go down to the planet, leave the house. You know what I mean? Go on an expedition. Bring your little Motorola. I've got the phone. Just like Star Trek said, but go do science. Go do love. Go do something. All of us have a problem with that. 1 out of every 2 people now has autism because of vaccines and probably all this screen time. So I'm starting out with this stupid political discourse and trying to point it back to what we do have power over, which is ourself and the ability to cooperate. But we're just going to keep going through this. Carol Vic Linden replying to Kid All-American and Real Shaky Nah. As I said before, which you willfully ignored, no one is justifying it. Just pointing out that the hypocrisy of people who supported BLM terrorists but clutched their pearls at the Capitol terrorists. I agree. Toby Carl, Ari Fleischer says Trump is on his own after the Capitol riot. I won't defend him anymore. Oh, another fake Jew. God, Ari Fleischer. Mark, 809-71723. Officer crushed indoor by rioters at U.S. Capitol. I really hope that the policeman is okay. I've said it before, all those people that entered the Capitol should face charges. That's not what the intention of the millions of people that attended that march to defend the integrity of the vote. We agree with you. Good Lord. I was at protests 20 years ago, the Battle of Seattle. The World Trade Organization met there around 2000, and I was more liberal at the time, I suppose, but I've always been non-affiliated. And that at that time, what happened was that the situation, the same thing happened. They were black bloc anarchists, which are essentially the same as Antifa. And they were in a standoff with police between 2 buildings, throwing Molotov cocktails at the building and the police, right? So that caused all of the rest of the people that were there, all the liberals with their paper mache, silly things that they do, and completely peaceful, marching to save turtles and stuff that everybody agrees with, you know what I mean? Which is stupid that we let these arguments get in the way when there's work to be done. My point is that they kicked everybody out of the whole downtown, is what they did. And everybody's like, okay, then we'll just stand here. And then they're like, you can't be standing there. And then it gets all ridiculous. And then it's like you try to go home because you're bored of all of it. It's the evening. Then you're watching on TV, and then there's tear gas wafting in the apartment. I go outside, do my roommates, and I hear, help! And there's this old woman up on the second floor. We got to go up there and bring that woman down. This is going to affect all of us. You're not going to be able to play left versus right when you're getting shot in the face. What are we going to do? Not going to be able to call EMTs or the police. What are we going to do? Stop your bitching. Cooperate. Sorry that I have a lot more anger than love. I don't know. This is me trying to work together, Mark the 7th, process analyzer, replying to R.B. Reich. Under the Constitution, there should be an investigation of any U.S. senator or representative who encouraged or participated in the insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. People like myself who are populist supporters of freedom, Americans, we think that there are no more Democrats. Almost all of them have been essentially turned into communists because even the few that you find don't speak up to disassociate themselves. See, I disassociated the actions of. There's the one guy that said he was connected with Q, which is just, an idea on the internet. Doesn't mean it's true or not. He could, who knows? He could be doing something on his own or be paid to do it. Who knows? So that's the guy with the buffalo horns. Then you've got Antifa. They're obviously Antifa because they're wearing masks. They're the only ones there that are wearing masks. I know that's not conclusive in itself, but I'm just saying we've all seen the video. They were pulled aside by Trump supporters. You're not our people. This isn't what we do. Then there was some other group with some guys that had orange hunter hats on. I don't know how contrived that group is, but I'm sure it represents a real type of people that are right wing, that are white nationalists, perhaps. That's a whole contingent. I don't like those people either. But they're like militants that want to force this revolution to come. And, just talking about what's the cause of all this and blaming everybody. If you really want to play that game, then you need to look at a book called War for Eternity, and it has it's Professor Benjamin Teitelbaum who got to interview Steve Bannon as well as Alexander Dugin, who's kind of like the Alex Jones of Russia. So this whole alt-right thing. But anyway, long story short, they follow this idea that's called traditionalism. Now, once you get far enough up the information knowledge pyramid, you're going to learn that there is this occult line. There's a line between the exoteric, just within Christianity, for example, there's always been a difference between, a simple understanding of the faith, and that has values even to people that are super intellectual, to not make it so complicated. You know what I mean? Ignorance is bliss, you know what I mean? And then there's looking deep into things. But in terms of political philosophy, traditionalism is the game that is being played by the secret societies, the elite that don't give a flip about left and right because they work on integrating opposites, right? Because if you look at anything like good and evil, night and day, they're actually, you could look at it like they're intertwined concepts. And then you start understanding counterintuition of like, well, if I want to actually make, myself and others be more conservative and follow these values, if that was your goal, could be any goal, but if that were the goal, then you would probably have to make things tougher because it's the being spoiled by consumerism and access to the internet right now. We could say, how are we using this responsibly? Are we abusing the internet like we would a drug? Certainly all these things come to bear. And in one essence would be that the news just has everybody whine about stuff and not do anything. And then when people try to do something, we have a situation like this, like, oh, you can't even, no more protesting, no more freedom of speech. Hooty-doo. But on the other hand, while that is stupid, it is also stupid to go to an event like that and not expect to get it mess up. Even Alex Jones is like, man, I wish we had defended against these possibilities better. Paul Rico, we will remember the Republicans responsible for the Capitol attack. Every damn one of them. No, that's not what I want to put there. Let's put this here. Send him a nice little picture of who's talking to you. Oh, the theory. Great team. Replying to Secretary Pompeo and the UN. Great team from President Trump and great Secretary Mr. Pompeo. Thanks for your help to Iraqi people for punishment of terrorist organization. Dear Secretary, support President Trump to keep USA first. Trump supporters prevent Antifa from broken glass of Capitol. Hey, there's somebody that took the time to learn English. I should learn. What's it? Iraq? Let's talk to some Iraqi people. I don't understand what Don Neville is talking about there. Brian Skinner, remember when the Wisconsin state capitol was taken over and the people even slept in it for about a week? MSNBC couldn't have been less proud of them. Beardless Moses, replying to True Pat 987, blah blah blah, Kevin Atwood, and 3 others. Nancy's laptop's gone. Nancy fired chief of Capitol Hill Police. Videos of Capitol Hill Police letting protesters in. Nancy in Congress got played by Trump. Military mission to confiscate her laptops. Articles of impeachment for someone leaving in 11 days. Yeah, right. Okay, so that's the Twitterverse there. And now can I even remember what I wanted to show you? Yeah, I want to show you this article just to remind you if you've on the left and you've somehow forgotten all the times. I'll go ahead and read it here. This is conservativepost.com. Here are the 10 times Democrats called for violence against Trump and Republicans since Election Day. As if there was only 10. There can be very little doubt that the shooting attack against GOP members at a baseball practice was spurred by constant incitement to violence by top Democrats. You can't spend months demonizing a group of people and not expect someone along the way to resort to violence against the demonized. But Democrats have gone further than just demonizing. On a number of occasions, liberal celebrities and even top Democratic politicians have openly called for violence. Words matter. This is but a sampling. Heck yeah, they do. If I'm going to get in trouble, if you're going to get in trouble, because what we say online, what about these jokers? Don't you care about equal treatment under the law? This is but a sampling of the many times we've witnessed such incitement since Election Day. Tim Kaine calls on liberals to fight in the streets against Trump and supporters. I don't know if I can play video very well. Let me see.
Joining us from Capitol Hill, member of both the Foreign Relations and Armed Services Committee, Senator Tim Kaine.
Special thanks to my son and his mother and stepfather for this awesome mug. I got for Christmas. I could even, if I were to dare shave my crazy beard, I could get one of those brushes and use this for that too, although that would probably flavor the coffee. They also gave me a keychain with a little multi-tool that I appreciate.
Of Virginia. Very good to have you on the show.
Great to
Great
see
to be
you,
back,
Senator.
guys. Yeah, thanks much.
Let's jump right into business. You were out at Dulles, is that correct?
Yes, I was out there yesterday afternoon.
Okay,
Yeah.
can you help me out? I'm seeing some media reports that are suggesting that the Border Patrol actually did not follow the federal judge's order in allowing lawyers to get in and talk to people. I'm also hearing really disturbing reports that when these people that were detained did not have their lawyers, that they actually seized their green cards. Can you confirm either of those two things?
Joe, I have heard that as well. So let me tell you what I do know. There hasn't been anybody detained at Dulles since Sunday morning. But in the early hours after the order went in, there was a huge...
Is every senator just a little cross-dresser? I mean, they just seem so lying effeminate. I don't have anything against real cross-dressers, but these people are just weirdos.
amount of confusion about it, and we've heard complaints that people's green cards were seized. We've heard complaints that people were forced to sign waivers, that they may have waived special immigrant visa status, and we are trying to get to the bottom of that.
Do you have names of the people whose green cards were seized so they can get those green cards back? Seized, by the way, seized illegally.
Right, and look, the whole thing about applying this to green cards and to the special immigrant visa folks who helped our...
I'd have to look into this story more. I might actually agree with this actual story. If anybody has ever traveled through a national passport checkpoint, it's all very uncomfortable. They take your passport. You know, some of these places be like the hotel holds it. If you don't have that passport, you're kind of screwed. You know what I mean? Like, that's gross. Another thing that's gross is in Silicon Valley, these big tech companies with their modern slavery, again, like, I'll just tell you real quick, check out Catherine Austin Fitts. The Republicans were the ones that stopped slavery, not the Democrats. The Democrats were the ones that started the KKK. But her theory as to why slavery went away was essentially because it was going to go away anyway because of technology, right? So, like, it's gross to talk like this, but the same way that farmers own farming equipment and they have to borrow money. So, good Lord, this was 30-something years ago when Willie Nelson and the people had the Farm Aid concert to help out the farmers, and that was about how you can't have a farm unless you go into crazy amounts of debt. At least that's what they want to tell you. Of course, if you talk to a cult, if you talk to organic gardening people, they'll show you like you can have a whole like make money off of just stuff in your backyard. But yeah, the thing about the green cards, I don't like that. My point I was saying is that these Asian people that come over here to work these tech jobs in Silicon Valley, their employers, I'm talking Google and Microsoft and Facebook and the like, they threaten those people. They hold on to their green cards and they say, if I fire you, I own you and you're going back to your hell world. That's not cool.
Troops on the battlefield whose lives were at risk, and then we abandon them in this order is outrageous. But yes, lawyers at Dulles have been providing names of individuals to my casework staff who were there over the weekend working on this too. So we haven't gotten to the bottom of the individual complaints, but we have at least gotten the Customs and Border Patrol to clarify the application of the order, how it's being applied to green card holders, how it's being applied to SIVs, and that there's nobody been detained at Dulles since Sunday morning. But it was rolled out so poorly that there was massive confusion.
Did any of those officials tell you that the White House had told them or suggested to them that they ignore the federal orders. I know at one point Stephen Miller called around and called them and said, ignore the hysteria on
overreach in a situation like this. How do you prevent a continuation of the bubble in a situation like this? And how does the
Guys, good to see you. Just to pick up
Hey,
on,
Willie,
your
thanks.
point right there, a lot of people out there in the streets, they feel like they've done their part, and now they're turning to you all to do something about some of these executive orders. What specifically recourse do you have as a United States Senator to stop some of the things Donald Trump is doing out of the White House?
Sure. Well, just on the executive orders, we've got a couple of things before us right now. We've got the Rex Tillerson State Department nomination on the floor. This executive order about immigration, because it affects our relationship with the world, is exactly the kind of thing that should cause us to really chew up some time on the Tillerson.
I'm tired of waiting for him to say whatever. I mean, there's a lot of things you could say here. One of them is that what I've noticed is that when you go from sitting on the sidelines to getting involved in anything, you know, because of a passion over a cause, could be the environment, could be this vote being a fraud in this recent election, whatever, you're going to figure out, oh, there's people on the other side that they are screwed over too. So in this example, what really came out of that? Did they really, was the left able to use a combination of the media and these street protests, riots, in order to cause change in the law? Probably not. I'm just guessing that immigration is a topic that's perpetually pushed down and not dealt with. Here's the time that the play of Julius Caesar in the park, you know, where we see the people killing Trump.
Well, a disgusting New York City play depicting the president brutally assassinated, all while being funded with your taxpayer dollars.
Yeah, we've been covering this all morning. Here to weigh in, Fox News contributor and Town Hall political editor Guy Benson. Good morning, guys. So we'll get some of the facts out here.
Yeah, just in general, I will say that the lesson is to be assertive. Don't be passive. Don't let somebody step on your foot and act like it didn't happen. Don't be aggressive, right? So that when somebody steps on your foot, you just push them down. Be assertive. Say, hey, you just stepped on my foot. You mind apologizing, please? That kind of a thing. Like, you have to deal with it. You know, we do need to take action. But no, we don't want to go around killing each other like berserkers or something. Yeah, come on. They had a whole play with our tax dollars showing Donald Trump being killed in Julius Caesar. Would that be tolerated if Biden? Come on. Break. Obama appointed Attorney General Loretta Lynch calls for liberals to march, bleed, and die in the streets as they resist Trump. Here's Sarah Silverman, the fake Jew comedian, calling for a coup. Little Zionist bitch. Trump's a Zionist. All you Christians that buy into this is highly questionable. They won't even Madonna publicly fantasizes about blowing up the White House at the Women's March. Let's see that. Oh, that's not available. More censorship from the communists. Only we have freedom of speech for a damn reason. That is so stupid that people have bought this. I mean, obviously both the left and the right are retarded. Like, yeah, God is important to me, Chad Warren. Yes, the Constitution is important. But if it were really important, we would admit that America was taken over in 1915 when income tax was made the law, or it's not really the law, and when the Federal Reserve took over the money and made it monopoly money instead of being based on gold and all this jazz. What are you Christians doing? You closed down your churches because of this COVID? Shame on you. You're not in the Christian club because I said so based on the fact that Jesus wouldn't have put up with that garbage. Christians had to live in underground for hundreds of years, right? And you're going to crawl in fear today? Shame on you. You didn't learn anything from Jesus. You failed. Try again. He forgives you. Here's Snoop Dogg shooting Trump in the head.
It's a new music video from Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, art. With always this double standard with the left. So, like, I'm asking for you, if you are watching this and you're on the left and you see that this is obviously BS, say, Chad, I hear you. I call out this stuff that you mentioned that the left has done on the way they have been represented in the media, that this does not represent the wish of the people on the left. I should hope it does not, you know. But when I hear stuff from my parents, my dad said, how do you know what's true? When I was, you know, demanding that he look at the CDC stats that show, you know, less people on average, when you factor in all these things, have died in 2020, even though there's increased suicide and because of the COVID lockdowns and all this jazz. They won't look at any of that. Look, where's the flu? How come there in the CDC there's no numbers for the cold or the flu? How come the pharmacies are reporting and doctors are reporting that they can't get prescriptions for Tamiflu filled? Because it's a legal scam, so that they had to make it not available so that these vaccines that are untested could be tested on human guinea pigs based on this emergency law saying there's no other existing regimen of therapy, so therefore you can do this. And then as soon as the vaccines were released, oh, now you can get Tamiflu. Come on. You know, we have to get involved in these evil little games that these little accounting bean counter jerk-offs that, you know, they think they've got it all figured out. I agree with them. They're right to laugh at us. How stupid we behave. Oh, what do we got? Liberal preschool teacher tells BLM rally that it's time to start murdering white conservatives. You never hear any of this at a Trump rally. Can't even find a video of it.
The march that started from City Hall is now winding through the streets of Los Angeles. At least 1,000 people are involved. And earlier, they brought out a huge papier-mâché Trump head. The Trump pinata had been sort of popular throughout California as many people were taking their frustrations out of these Trump pinatas, and they set it on fire. And now you can hear people chant behind me, singing, all we are saying is give peace a chance. Many Californians, Don, that did not vote for Donald Trump sort of feel that this was not their choice, and now they're stuck with it. And a whole lot of people at this protest, many Latino, are saying they now fear that relatives could be deported. Here's Lily. Lily, your sign tonight says...
Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter. If we don't fight, who's going to fight for us? People had to die for freedom where we're at today. We can't just do rallies. We have to fight back. There will be casualties on both sides. There will be, because people have to die to make a change in this world. But Trump, enough with your racism. Stop splitting families. Don't split my family.
And you're fearful that you're going to lose friends and relatives to deport?
Yeah, a lot. Friends, family, even all races, not just my...
Dude, if I were in Mexico, I totally support those people attempting to come here, even if it means breaking the law. But at the same time, there is a law. Don't bring your damn kids and you won't get separated. And you're just using those kids as political props. It's gross. You know what I mean? Like, there's all kinds of solutions we can come up with. You know, to be honest with you, I probably prefer a lot of the behavior and actions and words of immigrants and black folks than I do white people. You know, white people don't walk around wanting to team up with other white people. But now, because of this BLM stuff, you're making people like me have to think along those lines. You see what I'm saying? That if there's this street fight situation, then gee, I might have to be kind of friendly with these white national people who I vehemently disagree with, right? But if my other option is to be sent to some COVID camp, not cool. You know, it's the white fake liberals that I can't stand. Those are the ones that have literally, in my personal life, have attempted to attack me. So, I'm not upset at this woman fighting for immigration. As a matter of fact, we should take all the energy that's wasted on these wars and send that down there. They're sending all that war stuff here to America. All the treating the rest of the world like terrorists is going to affect us both left and right. We should have been doing stuff like going to Mexico to stop the drug cartels. But that can't happen because the drug cartels are the globalists. And she's a liberal preschool teacher, that woman was. Oh, this is actually her saying that.
Alright, hey guys, it's January 31st, 2017, and we've got some more stuff for you. This one, it's kind of disturbing.
I want to make a plug for Michelle doing her own big made story.
I did my own big story.
Go watch the Attorney
Oh
General
my
story. She did
gosh,
a
big
she's
girl.
playing it really well.
Sidekick.
Michelle is really smart. She's super smart. She can fix anything. She can, she's real mechanical.
Here's the cool
she
thing.
Can do wiring.
Hang on, stop talking about me. Here's the...
Honestly, fuck white supremacy, fuck the U.S. empire, fuck your imperialist ass flag. That's it, let's go. You know what America thrives off of? Capitalism. We use our motherfucking black and brown bodies to live and survive while white people own fucking properties after that. Yeah, they're all for white people, right? But black and brown people are affected by all of the shit around us. And capitalism is one of them. So you know what we need to do? We need to start giving fucking money. White people, give your fucking money.
She wants
your
money.
fucking
Give
house,
your money.
Your fucking property. We need it fucking all.
Hang on, pause it right there. Pause it right there. Dude, she's got people listening to her. They're saying we need the white people's money.
God, it's just so sad. It's the same rich, psychopathic assholes that are screwing us all over. Screw your stupid capitalism versus communism discussion. You know what's wrong with both of those? Materialism. It doesn't matter. They're both just different kinds of incentives, like a freaking dog treat. Here you go. Here you go, little doggy. Here you see some money. The booty. Get you what you want. You little good feelings. That's capitalism. What's communism? Oh, if you don't do exactly what the TV tells you to do, you're not going to be able to travel more than 10 miles from your home. We're going to get control of, you're not going to have any money that's not digital. We got a social credit score. It's so stupid. The same people that made the dang credit score that have everybody in debt are going to have everybody in debt with your behavior. Your behavior is never going to be enough to get you into a better position just because you're choosing communism versus capitalism. Stupid. Tired of being pushed around by stupid people. And I'm tired of feeling ashamed for being different and just being completely logically I hate this society. But I am the crazy radical that is saying, look, we are going to have to learn how to cooperate, most especially because we cannot stand each other. You know what I mean? I want to go to Disneyland. I want to travel around the world. I want to do much cooler stuff, you know, like getting together on land with other people and we grow our food and we worship God and have a real community. Build a pizza oven. Everybody come to the pizza oven cult, and you get to pick what toppings are on the pizza. Yeah, but all of us have got to learn how to honestly make change. So that's enough of me rambling and these examples of all the times that liberals act shit crazy, just calling for the death of all white people and all this crazy stuff. And then you have the nerve to say that it is some kind of fascist insurrection because those people went to defend the vote, and a few of these hooligans who were probably paid, and obviously the police shouldn't have let them in. What the heck were they doing? What is all that tax money going to? You go try breaking into your local school, and you won't get as far as they did. It's just stupid. ChadWarren.us